I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. You could cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in. And if you do not want to see me again, I would understand.
Hey guys, welcome back. Good to be back here today with Ali and Amy, talking about something that's really near and dear to, I guess, all three of our hearts, right? This month, September, Suicide Prevention Month. We'll get into that in just a moment with Amy. But real quick, just want to kind of catch everybody up on what we've been doing. Ali, it's been 3.5, 4 months since you and I last talked. And so let's get this out of the way and kind of congratulations. You and Scuba finally got married back in May, right?
Yes. Thank you so much.
So congratulations. How's the after wedding feel?
Oh, it's amazing. It's paradise. It's awesome.
Is it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Amy, I know you and I kind of keep in touch regularly, but you've been working on some great things, including getting your personal fitness company really back up and running and working on some things there. How have you been otherwise though?
Hugely single, which is wonderful. No marriage updates. Don't worry, everybody. But I know I got to crack some jokes. It's the sick, twisted humor in me. It has to come out, or I would explode.
At some point, yeah.
Right behind me. It's been good. I've gotten my business a lot more off the ground, I should say, than when I started this whole endeavor. And I've built some great new partnerships in networking, and things are shifting. So we got still lots more to come, still a lot more to do, but we're going in really, really good direction. So I'm happy with all that.
Awesome. So really quick, you talked about some new partnerships you formed with your company. Your company is Go Figure Fitness Solutions, correct?
Correct.
Are you allowed to drop the ball or drop a hint as to who some of those partnerships might have been formed with yet, or we still
I'll
kind of
drop
have
one. One is Forever Young Anti-Aging Solutions. They handle hormone replacement therapies and aesthetics and things like that. And so we're partnering in my particular community, which is the Wellington area and the Western communities, but they're pretty much everywhere in South Florida, and they're going into other states now as well. So
awesome. So
it'll be a bigger partnership in time.
Nice. So a nice little plug for Forever Young.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there you go. Amy will get their contact information out there for everyone as well. Ali, you had some big news you launched or released to everybody over on social media. God, what, a couple of weeks ago now, right? So
yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Company, what's going on? You want to let us know what's happening with you?
So my business partner now, her and I are in a really small salon space, and we are partnering with a good friend of ours who's a barber. The three of us are opening up an 1,100 square foot storefront salon and barber shop for January.
Oh, nice. So working on some great things. Good luck. Hopefully January is around the corner. Let's be honest. 2021 is almost over. Yeah. We're getting ready to hit into the fourth quarter. So lots of great things coming from everybody. So a quick update. I know it's been a while since we've all gotten together and done this. Part of the reason for myself was back first 2 weeks of August. I know, Amy, you and I talked about it. First 2 weeks of August,
we've all had a lot to shit going on.
Absolutely. And the biggest part for me was first 2 weeks of August.
This bitch had to get married.
I know, you had to go ruin it all for us.
It's like 500 trips. I don't even know what country she hasn't been to yet. She's
constantly out of the country. Now, mind you, Ali's traveling.
I can't even get a vacation.
Amy's busting her ass with work, and I was laid up in the first 2 weeks of August with COVID. So, and Amy, you and I've talked about it,
That was like a mental vacation.
That was
technically everyone has had a vacation except me.
I wouldn't even say it was a mental vacation. It is awful. So for those of you, no, nobody's gonna cry for you.
Listen, I'm going to Vegas in 3 weeks. I'll put you in my suitcase.
I'm taking a vacation in a month, 6 weeks, and then I got another vacation in January. So that's a 12-day. So sorry. You're welcome to come with us in January. It's a small, literally a very small 3, 4, 5 people that's going out to Seattle with a stop in Vegas.
Seattle is so nice.
Yes.
I want to go so bad. You're gonna have so much
fun.
My
second time out there. So Al, you actually know the people that I'm going to be hanging out with out there, the Hares. So Brad, we're going to meet up with one of my best friends, Brad, his little sister, Allie, ironically, and her boyfriend. We're all flying out in January with a stop in Vegas. So that'll be
you guys are going to have a blast.
So
Good.
we are looking forward to it. We are going to see the Seattle Kraken, the NHL's expansion team this year.
Cool.
Are playing the Panthers. The Panthers are flying out there, so we are going to go watch the game. First game Panthers play out west, so it'll be interesting.
Awesome. Good.
So,
You need the break. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be nice. Amy could use the break probably more than both of us combined, but
I'll get one
Well,
eventually.
Amy's my emotional support human, so she has to come with me everywhere now.
so we have to get her a vest, right?
Yeah.
She's got to wear that red vest.
Right.
Absolutely.
Collar.
I mean,
Green. I'd say green. Nice, tight leash, maybe. No. Wrong podcast.
good
We're gonna
Lord.
get to the point here real quick that we can
Yeah,
get
so
this video.
so let's let's jump into it. You know, we'll keep it, make it nice and easy for everyone. Amy, you and I talked about it the other day. September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Tell us a little bit. You know, I know it's something that's a topic that's we all have experienced at some point on some level, or have heard about and talked about with people. Let us know. You know, this is something that you and I talked about. It's something that's extremely important to you, which is, I think, is a great thing. You know, as it is to me. But let us know. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking, and how do you feel?
Well, to just cannonball in the fucking pool and kind of share a little bit of my story. I went through some really rough things. I was married to a very not nice guy at one point in my life. And after that divorce, I suffered from a lot of different, mental health issues and things.
Mhm.
And I not only attempted suicide a couple of different times, but I was successful pretty much in one of them. Bunny ear, right? Because I was actually found and resuscitated by a girl
Okay.
who was part of a situation that was taking place at the time. So I am forever grateful for that. But it's been a journey and a learning process. And I have, this interesting insight of being on both sides,
Okay.
literally. So, but I think it is important. And I think it is something so important because I've also been touched by suicide. My uncle committed suicide. It's affected my entire family. My brother's attempted suicide many times. He struggles with brain cancer, post-brain cancer, mental health issues, and some really serious addiction issues. So it doesn't really matter what your background is with it. There's people that are successful that try to kill themselves every single day, and there's people that have literally nothing. There's people from every walk of life and every situation in between. It touches people of all kinds, and it does it unhesitatingly. You're not going to know. People aren't going to tell you. They're not going to talk about it. People that are actually going to take their own lives are going to take their own lives.
Right.
Sometimes there are ways to intervene in that, in situations kind of like myself, where a miracle kind of happens, or an act of God, or, it just simply wasn't your time to go, and something intervenes that stops that process and redirects it. And sometimes not. I think it's a constant recovery for those who have lost someone from suicide, because it simply leaves unanswered questions, and it simply leaves a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. I'm not sure of the current statistics, because COVID increased suicide numbers greatly, but we lose annually, I want to say, over 800,000 people a year to suicide. And that's staggering. And I'm not going to speak any more statistics, because quite frankly, people don't give a fuck about them. And that's
Right.
okay. But they don't. They hear them, they go, ooh, ah. And then their mental process goes on to cooking lasagna or whatever the fuck it is they're doing.
Correct.
So,
Absolutely.
but I think it is important to stop. And I'm constantly preaching this to people. People get sick and tired of my approach of love, and tell people you love them, and blah, 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 blah. Anybody who knows Amy's crazy, zany ways of doing things. But it's true. And I'll offer a tidbit in here in a second of what the best thing that you can say to someone who is struggling from, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's PTSD, depression, anxiety, blah, 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 whatever, all the backgrounds, doesn't matter, on how to kind of stick something in their mind, because I come from that background in linguistics, that will break up their thought process just a little bit and maybe keep them holding on just a little bit longer. And I've actually used it with certain people that, we've even had on here on the podcasts and things like that. So it doesn't give anybody away. It's still ambiguous and anonymous, but I use it all the time. And It's very simple and kind of quiet and, easy. So I just think it's important to check on people. I think you should check on your people that you would never, ever in a million years think would commit suicide, because those are the ones who will.
100% agree.
If I commit suicide tomorrow, I think there would be a lot of people who would say, oh my God, I would never think Amy would do that in a million years. She's the strongest person I've ever met in my entire life.
Absolutely.
Maybe therein lies the problem, right?
Yeah.
Amy is Amy for a lot of other people, but does Amy have an Amy in her life? And so when we think about other people, do we think about it from that perspective?
Right.
Who do they have? Oh, they're strong all the time, but who's strong for them? Or do they ever ask for help, or do they, you know? So, you know, just keeping things in the right perspective and being kind in everything you do all the time, because you literally never know what people are dealing with. And that the one thing you say to them, maybe a face you even make at them, or whatever it is, we can all be so cruel sometimes. I'm a shit talker. I mean, I'll own that. So you got to kind of curb yourself a lot of times and be cautious and careful and mindful that what am I actually doing to affect this person, and for all ecology's sake, the universe in grand, in a global perspective. You know, am I tipping scales here that could be dangerous? And tell people you love them, whether you don't want to tell them you love them, homo, no homo, whatever. You know, it doesn't really make a difference. Whatever the words are for you. Hey, did you make it home safe? Okay. You know, are you doing all right? You know, whatever it is, check on people and just be genuine and authentic and have some integrity and put yourself out there a little bit. And I kind of impose into people's lives, you know, on purpose, for a purpose, because I can sometimes tell, coming from that background and having been that close myself, of when people are really not okay. And I don't know if it did anything to me. I mean, I didn't have this like grand out of body experience or anything. It was just black,
Right.
and peaceful and quiet and nice. And I'd love to go back permanently. But I do have a great purpose here on this planet, and I love that, so I stay and I embrace it. And I'm grateful and thankful for both sides of it and all of it. It was an experience, and you learn a lot from things. And I think that's the greatest thing, is that you do learn. We're always learning, and we're not done learning until the last day that we are actually here. I wouldn't romanticize any of it because it's not glamorous. And I always kind of put cautions out there. People struggle, you know, and who knows if that one little thing could be that last little thing that breaks the camel's back. Yeah. And that's the thing that people have to be so cognizant of, that they're not per se, because we get so focused on our day-to-day things or our own lives and everything else, and then we don't really realize that we haven't heard from this person in a while, and that they've become recluse, and that
Correct.
They're not speaking up, you know, and they're withdrawing, and maybe they're researching ways to take their life or things like that. Maybe they're talking, and maybe they're saying goodbye more often and in ways and verbiage, and we're just not paying attention. And there's red flags, there's signs. So you have to kind of pay attention and pick up on it. For somebody like me, I've got radar dish ears, you know, but for other people who haven't really been affected by suicide personally, or, you know, with family and friends or people close to them, then maybe they don't grasp it, and that's okay. That's why things like this can help people. So I think it is a great month, and I think it is something great to bring attention to. And people, please don't text me. I'm okay.
So
I still
that
love
note,
you. I gotta in a lot of years, and I've done a lot of work on myself, and it's what's brought me to this place and why I work with other people and all this crazy funky stuff. It's all part of my purpose and part of the plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
The greatest thing that you can say to anyone struggling in suicidal thoughts, tendencies, etc., is, I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree. You know, so really quick, I'm going to interject really quick. So you had mentioned you got to check on people. You know, don't be rude about it. Don't insert yourself into their life, but you ask them, right? I think there's a difference, to your point, number one, of being polite about it and without imposing too much, right? Without kind of being,
unless you're a flaming redhead who can do that.
But your name's Amy, and that's the only exception to that. Let me be very clear. But, you know, I don't want people to confuse being overly sensitive or polite, or just sensitive and polite in general, with political correctness, right? That's not what we're talking about. There's a right way to do things, and there's a very brash way. So we're talking about doing it the right way. Be sensitive, be polite about it. But then you make the point of, you got to check on people, right? Just how are you? How's everything been? What have you been up to? Like, whatever, right? Those are different ways we can check on people. So somebody actually just texted me because I was talking to him earlier and said, hey, what is your thought? And he and I had talked and he had shared his story with us a while back. And he made a very good point. He actually sent me a photo of 4 different individuals, 4 celebrities that had all taken their lives, right? So one of them happened to be Brittany Murphy. Another one was most recently that we all would probably remember from movies such as Mrs. Doubtfire, things of that nature, right? Was Robin Williams. He seems like such a happy person.
I'm still not over that loss.
I don't think a lot of people are. And I got to tell you, you know, we got to check on the people that seem happy, right? Because they can be happy on the outside and let Amy to your
People who are
point.
suicidal or hiding it.
Right. And to your point, you know, you've been that person for so many people, but who's the person for you? And that's what we've got to work on. So I want to ask both of you a question. So we put up the other day, or I guess it was this morning, you know, suicide will affect everybody, right? Somewhere down the line, whether it's firsthand or you heard of the person or you knew of them, maybe you weren't friends or a family, whatever, but it affects everyone and it creates a ripple effect. Do the two of you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. So the other question that I want to ask, and Allie, I want to ask you this. You know, we talked to Amy extensively about different things, right? About how check on your friends, check on family. I love you can be said in 1,000 different ways, right? Text or call me when you get home. If you get in trouble or you're stuck, call me, I'll pick you up, right? We've all said this to each other at some point. For you, and you know, how many times when you've gone out, you used to bartend. A lot of your regulars are friends to this day with you, right? I know that's you and I met because of scuba, oddly enough, at a bar, right? And we get how often have we all said to each other, call or text when you get home, just let me know you're safe.
Oh yeah, all the time, all the time. And you know, in situations especially where, you know, it's not even, you know, you have like, I don't even necessarily want to say like, you know, to tie in with like suicide prevention, you know, like you've got a lot of people in that industry where you become really close with your regulars. So you can kind of pick up when they're having an off day. And there have been plenty of times where the job no longer is a job, it's a bond that you have with that person. So you check on them a lot. Let me get you home. Do you need a cab or anything like that? You know, or, you know, they come and they drink their problems away sometimes, you know, like some people just portray it that way. And that's how they release that, you know, stuff they need to get off their chest.
And drinking their problems away, not to, you know, condone certain things, but it's even better. A lot of people will recluse and start to stay inside and do that.
Correct.
Yeah.
So here's a question, and this is something I've always wondered because knock on wood, thank the Lord, I have never been in this situation, right? We all get together, right? We have a party, you know, Labor Day weekend, right? So hopefully, number one, hope everybody's staying safe. If they drink, please use an Uber, use a Lyft. Don't drink and drive. We know the cops are out in full force holiday weekends, especially. But for example, Allie, we leave, Amy and I leave, right? We all get together, go out for a night, whatever. We leave, you know, we're 20 to 30 minutes away from where we are. Been an hour. You haven't gotten a text from either one of us. What starts running through your mind?
I think honestly, I think it kind of depends on the situation. You know, not everybody says, oh yeah, I'll text you when you get home, and then you just forget, you know, it's, you know, so I don't typically panic initially. If I usually just trust my gut, you know, and you know, I tend to in the past, I've kind of had a little bit of a sixth sense about things. I can kind of just, Amy knows this, you know, there was a day where I just kind of had like a feeling like I just need to go check on her. I need to just text her, and I did. And it was a day that she needed that, you know, and literally perfect, you know, example. So I think, you know, I kind of go with my intuition, and, you know, if that's not the case, like, you know, I'll call, text, you know, if I don't hear from them, maybe reach out to somebody that, you know, mutual friend or whichever. And, you know, if I don't hear from them by the next day, that's usually when I, you know, really reach out to someone's mom. I call someone's mom. But me and all of my best friends all share location with one of another. So we always kind of know where we are if ever, you know, need anything like that. All of us girls started it when we were single and we were all dating. So that way, like, you know, you never know. And now we've just kept it because it's one of those, we all left and I know, okay, Vanessa's home. All right, Melissa got home safe. Okay, Jenny just got home. So
Right.
it just kind of, you know, you just feel it out, use my intuition and kind of go from there.
Right. And I think for Amy, you and I, Amy and I talk, I don't know, throughout every day of the week.
Ridiculously.
Yeah, I mean, it's just constant between the two of us. And some of the banter, let's be honest, Amy, some of the banter you and I have back and forth.
There is no problem with me being honest.
No, what would happen is if somebody actually read our text messages between each other, they would think the two of us are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Just some of the crap we say. But the truth is one of us is venting to the other, but neither of us, right? Allie, you're the same way. We don't have a problem being brutally honest with people, you know, especially with each other.
Yes.
You know, so my biggest thing is if anybody takes anything away from this, and you two can agree or disagree, please let me know, is that we got to check on each other. I love using it to sound like a different phrase to every single person, right? Coming from everybody. But most importantly, the idea is that even your happy friends, they're going through something at any given time, and we don't know what that may be, right? Happiest of people, for example, we just said it, Robin Williams was super happy, was out there always making people laugh, but
he pretended to be happy because he really wasn't.
that's the point, right? These people are pretending.
One of his very famous quotes, to paraphrase it, I won't remember it verbatim right now, shame on me, but it's basically that, I mean, you can be in a room full of people, but it's when you're in a room full of people and they still make you feel alone. And that's the problem, is that people are that shitty, just gonna be honest. And,
They are.
you know, as humans, we crave connection. You know, we're community-based creatures.
Yeah.
We're not meant to always be alone or be shunned, not be loved, you know, and all those things. So it does play in, and you get good at pretending and you get good at covering up. And I mean, I'll be honest, I am a master at it, you know, and you guys know me. So, and you've been through certain situations. So, I mean, I'll be frank and be totally upfront and honest. I've come to you guys and said certain things, and if I hadn't, would you have really known?
Right. You know,
I think that also too, kind of like piggybacking off of that, I think that there's a lot that we as people, like something that I kind of live by is like, be the friend that I know that I'm going to need, or that I would have needed in the past. And that's just how I am to other people. I want to be to you what I would need from you in return if the roles were reversed. So I think that it kind of, you have to step back. You can't just look for, you know, I don't think it's just looking for sadness. It's not looking for, I hate my life. Those aren't the things. I think it starts with self-destructive behavior sometimes too. You know, like, you know, when your friends are acting out and acting out of character.
If you've been breathing air on the planet long enough, you've been through a lot of shit. It doesn't.
Absolutely.
You know, what's so debilitating to one person? I mean, God, I could get up in the morning, put my fucking jeans on, and that could be the thing, you know? It just depends. Yeah. Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. Absolutely. 100%. And I think that you just have to remember to be kind to people. You never know, especially, you know, with people we don't know, and we don't know what's going on in their lives. It could be the hardest day of their life.
That's right. Your waitress may come to your table and she might have been thinking about how to do this for 3 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's bottled all that up inside, holding on to it. You never know.
Absolutely.
You know, and people see me all the time. Oh, you're so pretty, this and that. Listen.
It's not always what you think and what you see on the outside. You know, sometimes you kind of have to go a little bit deeper, and you have to look and watch people, like, you know, your friends, the people in your lives, you see them when they're acting out of character, even if it's just self-destructive, going out and partying too hard and, you know, things like that. Like, that's the downward spiral.
Ask them what's wrong. What's the real problem? You know, get in their lives and spend some time with them. Put yourself in their shoes. Empathy goes a long way. Empathy is something where you have to put yourself in that person's shoes and not really judge them based on what you know about you or about your life and your situations. Try to put yourself in their shoes on how they view the problem.
1000%.
You know? And that's what it is.
And a lot of times, let's be honest, you know, if we're sitting there, right, we all know each other pretty well, right? And a lot of times, even if somebody doesn't want to talk right away, just having somebody there, and so if and when you're ready to, just know that person sitting there, ready to listen without giving any advice, goes a long way.
People don't know how to communicate sometimes. So how can they
It's hard.
communicate they're having problems or what those problems even are, and that they are this great or grave, etc. But when I ask, have you eaten today? And I come over with something food wise, whatever, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like basic needs are important.
Yeah, it's hard, so,
You want to just
you
go
know.
sit at the beach and enjoy it, or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
I'll just come sit beside you. We could be quiet.
The smallest
Oh,
things,
yes.
right? The smallest action and the smallest action can create the largest ripples, right? They create waves, and we don't have to. Everybody thinks there has to be a grand gesture with anything and everything we do. The truth is, it's the small things in life, right? Life is a matter of moments, and we're going to either fill them with memories and how we could have done things differently, or how we could have done things differently, or how we could have acted differently.
Right.
For the idea is, how can we help somebody else make a difference in their life? So, with all of that, so we know it's Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. One of the things that I will tell people is, don't ever be afraid to talk, right? Even if it's just, I just need you to know that I can hear your breathing on the other end while I vent. I just want to know that if I put the phone down, you're just going to sit there and let the phone stay on, and I don't have to say anything to you.
I've
So
done
don't
that.
be afraid. Yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody, right? So if you are in a crisis, we want to make sure that we're, understand and remember, we're giving our personal opinions, right? We are not doctors. We're not trained to be able to treat something of this nature. This is purely informational from personal experiences and things that we've all talked about or experienced in some way, shape, or
Self-proclaimed
form.
life coaches.
There you go.
I don't
like
know
that.
about y'all bitches, but I'm certified in so much shit.
Amy has
Amy's
so-
the only legit one
Yeah.
out of us.
Fuck all the
Amy
things
has
I'm
so many
certified in.
letters behind her name that she's going to be
Prague,
working until the day
Master
she
Prague,
dies.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you're going to be working until the day you die just to pay off all those certifications and letters, all right?
Go eat tacos.
So-
Solve all your life problems.
There you go. So if you are in a crisis, the AFSP, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, has their line set up. If in a crisis, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. You can also text the crisis line by texting the word TALK, TALK, to 741-741. Do not worry, we will post that up there so everybody has it. Reach out if they're there to help without judgment. They're there to just listen or just stay on a dead silent phone while you sit there and breathe.
And they are great. I have called the lines before in different times that I've been in, just because I didn't want to talk to somebody I knew.
It's
Sometimes
hard.
I like talking to strangers. I'd sit and talk to homeless people sometimes. And they got
So,
cool stories. Sometimes you don't want to be judged and perceived,
right.
by the people that know you. Sometimes you just want to talk to someone that doesn't know you and doesn't have any idea what you're going through. So you feel like you're getting a fresh, clear, honest perspective from them.
100% agree. So, don't be afraid, reach out. We have our email up there. So if you have questions or you have something you want us to talk about during any month at any time, or even if you have a question about what we were talking about tonight, our email address is out there, but it is contact@ymha.info. Reach out to us, with questions or topics that you want to hear us talk about. Amy can break down a lot of things, delve into it as deep as you want, or we'll go surface level. It's up to you. With that said,
One thing I want to add is
go ahead.
if you're going to traditional talk therapy, which I have nothing against traditional talk therapy, I've been to it many times myself for all kinds of reasons, and I do think it serves a great purpose. But if you're struggling and you're going to talk therapy and it's making things worse, or it's not effective, and you still are feeling the constraint and as if you're having suicidal thoughts and tendencies and things, there are other alternative practices out there, and not just NLP and all the other things I'm certified in, but other things as well. There's lots of resources, but they're not as widely spoken about. So we'll try to gather up a little list, and I can have Vinny post some of that stuff, but just search. You'll find them. They're out there. They're not as widely known or as popular or say mainstream, but there's lots of other things out there. So keep trying things and just don't stop. The best advice I ever got in my entire life was don't stop.
Yeah, and I agree with that. So, Allie, before we finish up for the night, closing thoughts, anything you want to add, anything you think we didn't touch on that you want to throw out there as well?
I don't necessarily have anything to say or anything like that, but I have more of like a challenge for everybody viewing and all of our friends. This month why don't you take, I want like everybody take like one day and have like a self-care day with somebody that you feel needs it, have like, whether it's, you got somebody that's going through it, take them for a picnic or hang out with them, like challenge yourself to push yourself out of like your home zone. We get so wrapped up in our little worlds.
Comfort
Let's our little home zones, our little space. But it's easy to get wrapped up in our own lives and get really, really busy. And we just don't check in with people and we just kind of fall off the face of the earth. That's adulthood. But this month, like make a point to catch up with somebody you haven't talked to in a while, get together with somebody, see somebody. Everybody needs, that refresh of friendship, and you never know, you might make a good connection in somebody that, really could have used you in their life a little bit.
And I gotta be honest, if you've been touched by suicide and you know someone who has committed suicide and it has affected you emotionally, get out there and talk about it. Go see somebody, get some help.
Absolutely. So anybody who wants to know more about suicide prevention, they can actually go onto the AFSP's website, afsp.org. Join your local chapter, get involved however you want. If you have questions about joining your local chapter or talk to somebody, yep, we have one. We actually have a walk coming up. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I'm doing it.
Are you? It's October 2nd or something.
Clients are going to be doing the one in West Palm.
Okay, so there's a walk coming up. Get registered. It's on their website. Get registered. Great cause. But again, hit their website up. Look at it. They actually have. I hate to use the word, but for lack of a better word, chapter presidents or a lead that you can actually call based on the region or area you're in. And if you have questions, they'll answer them for you. Sometimes communicating via email, we know, is not the most efficient way. We know that some people may prefer talking over the phone. All of that said, Allie, Amy, thank you for all of your input. Thanks for everything you've done. Amy's going to put some great stuff together. You've seen the sneak peeks that we put up on our social media there that she's been working on. Allie has done some great things as well in coordination rather, with Amy for that. So Amy will get that posted up on her website actually soon. Fingers crossed, right? I know we've been talking about it for a while. But we got your words, not mine. But she'll get that up. We'll release it. She's gonna actually put a little
murder is bad. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Amy drinks coffee. Folks.
I thought it was just frowned upon.
It's still illegal. I keep checking.
It's still illegal. Has to be justified. But as soon as she gets that up, we're gonna show a little sneak peeks. Amy's gonna put together a nice little video or short clips of what she's been working on behind the scenes. Allie and I have been lucky enough to kind of see what's going on and see what they've been working on. And Allie did a great job on her part. So I thank both of you for everything you've done. All of that said, if you guys, take a chance, get a chance, I agree with Allie. Get out there, talk to somebody you haven't talked to in a while. Send them a text. That hello could be the world difference to them, right? So I'm going to leave you with this final quote, and it's something that I saw, and it's something that I try to live by now, because in the sense of just remembering, right, every day. So in a world where you can be anything, be kind. It's simple as that. When you're kind,
I love that one. That's a good one.
You make the world a difference, and holding the door open for a stranger, that could be the difference from them thinking, today's the day, or hey, things are okay. It's just a little rough right now. So
that's right. I'm a fucking Care Bear. I mean, I curse a lot, but I'm a Care Bear.
Yeah, she's a cursing Care Bear. She's the one that you find on after 10 p.m., not the one you find on at 10 a.m.
I'm the female version of 10.
They actually, I think they're
true.
real. What are their names? There's like an official name for like the bad Care Bears, but they exist.
Yeah, it's called Amy. It's Amy.
Don't quote me, but I feel like it's like I don't give a fuck bears, but they're.
So there you go. You can get those. Those are the things you got to look at.
I need it in my life.
Exactly. So we now know what to get Amy for her birthday and for every other day that she. I don't think Amy has ever spoken with me or Allie with you or any of us at any given time, joint, independent, whatever, and has not sworn.
At least I'm consistent.
That is true. Consistency is key. I like consistency.
I don't even notice the bad words because they're just so normal for me. So
I forget that people get offended by them.
We're passionate people, and it's a passionate word, and it fits me.
Batshit passionate.
Passionate,
batshit crazy. There's a fine
I don't
line.
like crazy. I like wild. Crazy implies that like I'm gonna be hugging myself in a corner in a white coat one day.
Yeah, I don't do
That
that.
happen, but I doubt it. I'm probably
I'm
not
gonna say
be
this. There's a fine line, and Amy, I gotta say, I think you walked that line pretty well. So, all that said, folks, have a wonderful day. Enjoy each day as you wake up, because we all know tomorrow's not promised. We've all lost somebody, to suicide or have been affected in some way or another. So, everyone, have a wonderful day. Enjoy your life. Tell your loved ones you love them. Take care. We'll talk
We're
to you
so
soon.
glad you're here.
So glad.